team members and sponsors back in the U.S. that everybody is just hoping to see him up on the podium his first try.
Friends and family in Charleston, South Carolina. His dad, McGrath, is actually there at the track with him. So that is superb for the Keane family. And Lee Keane's star continues to rise and shine in endurance sports car racing. With a handy, comfortable buffer, Timo Bernard is comfortably leading this race over Benoit Trelier. But this is the most recent drama, and it's the end for any Peugeot-powered car in this race. Loic Duval, it is all over. And that was awesome stuff from Alan McNish. The number 1 will be returning to Ingolstadt, but it will be courtesy of the number 9 of Mike Rockenfeller, Romain Dumas, and Timo Bernard. We're on board with Timo right now, and I'm sure we all have victories, whether it be in the media or as endurance racing fans. When we first saw these 3 young guys come to America racing Porsche 911s, they were all blisteringly fast. They all came to America at different times. Most of them, their first event was the Rolex 24 at Daytona. We've seen them grow. They came, particularly Timo Bernard, came to America in the shadow of then the Porsche stars Sascha Masson and Lucas Luhr. He was for a long time partnered with Jörg Bergmeister. It was the short and the tall of the story, wasn't it, between Timo and Jörg? And in more recent years, he's found his home and his mate, his good partner in Romain Dumas. So for them to share the ride with Mike Rockenfeller, who had absolute embarrassment and heartbreak in his LMP1 prototype debut here at Le Mans a couple of years ago, this is a great story for these 3 young men. To Jamie.
From one Porsche star to another, Wolf Hensler, Porsche factory driver, what would it mean if the race carried on as it is and the Le Mans trophy returned to Porsche?
Yeah, I mean, for sure it would be very good for Porsche, but also for me it's would be my first win, and it's my first time I raced here was in 08, last year and this year again, so it would mean a lot to me and for sure to Porsche.
As an endurance star, how does the Le Mans 24-hour, how does it feel at this point in time compared to other 24-hour races?
I mean, it's great to be here. There are so many fans right now. They are coming on the grandstands, and for sure, when we go through the finish, there will be many, many people coming, and I really hope we stay on the lead. We are really driving very, very careful now. We have, I think we are leading by 2 laps now, and we drive really slow and bring the car home.
Have you heard anything from your co-drivers? Is the car okay to make it to the final stages?
No, I haven't heard anything, but that means everything is fine. So if something would be wrong, I would hear it. But I think everything is good, and I think he's coming in soon. And I'm not sure if Richard Leeds goes in or if Mark stays in. I don't know, I will see.
All right, well, great job today and good luck to the finish.
Thank you.
Wolf Hensler, a great guy and a super driver who we've come to know over the years in a variety of series here in the US. He loves racing in the United States, and what a moment for him. 3rd is a lucky charm if it stays where it is. You couldn't find anyone more intense, more serious about GT racing than Mark Lieb, and Mark is driving the car right now. They're 12th overall. They do have a 2-lap margin over the Hankook Farnbacher Ferrari, so that is pretty comfortable there. And Richard Westbrook on debut in that BMS Scuderia Porsche is looking good for a podium place.
That is awesome job for those guys. They've had some drama throughout the course. They didn't have a quick car. They had to keep trimming the aero out of that car to find some speed. They had some tire issues, but for that lead car, Mark Lieb, Richard Leeds, they've had a GT victory here before, but as Wolf stated, it is big day for him. Oh, so a lot of smoke there out of the Aston.
What a great story for the Aston guys right now. I mean, just because of being out there and staying what they're doing and staying the course, currently running fourth with some of the issues that the Peugeots had.
Sam Hancock, oh, more smoke right there too.
Yeah, there's a problem.
It might have hurt itself coming off that last corner. We saw the smoke emanate there, but on that straightaway shot, right as we cut away, or we didn't cut away, World Feed did, more smoke.
What we're going to do is squeeze in a commercial break now so we can enjoy more action towards the end of this race, and it is game over, it looks like it, for the 009 Aston Martin of Sam Hancock. They're in exactly the same position as last year, the lead petrol car and in 4th overall, but that looks terminal. Audi is in, lead car is in, Timo Bernard for the final time. 50 minutes remaining in this race. And all orderly for car number 9.
Now they're not racing anybody but themselves right now, so no mistakes here, boys.
No mistakes, and you probably just leave the tires on for 1/10, pull them back off. You don't want to have any sort of issue with the puncture. Or
I'm not sure he can go 50 minutes on fuel. They may still need a splash here, boys.
That's about right, too, Calvin. You're correct.
I'm here.
I wonder if he slows the pace down a lot, if he can pick up that extra mileage, Calvin, to get him past the 45-6 minutes. I mean, he's not really having to race anyone. His teammates are not going to pass
They can
him.
do a splash. It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Roll into the pit.
They've been doing about 42, 44-minute runs, so, I mean, that's a big stretch there. So they may have to roll down and just top him up and send him.
Yeah, no need to, lean it out or anything like that. No reason to take any chances.
Yeah, I
right
agree
now,
with
it's
that.
just getting to the finish. How exciting for Audi. I mean, 1, 2, 3, potential in hand.
I don't think I'd be touching any mixture buttons right now. Leave everything alone.
Don't mess up the mojo. And with 383 laps in the books, car number 9 has set a new distance record for this, as we mentioned earlier, that is classified as course number 14, iteration number 14 of the La Sarthe circuit. 382 last year, so it's already been surpassed with some 48 minutes, 57 seconds to go. While we're away, we just saw the beginning of this, and it was Sam Hancock in the 009 Aston Martin.
We saw it puff a couple of times, and then it started, right as we went to break, emanating a lot more smoke.
And fire.
And fire, yeah.
They parked it off circuit, so their
Sam
day
was
is
smart.
done.
He was looking for a fire marshal, I think, full well knowing that when he loses speed to the car, this could have caught fire. It never did.
And Darren Turner was all kitted up, ready to go. Sam Hancock was set to bring that car to pit road and hand over to Darren Turner to finish the run off for the Aston Martin squad. How about these boys? Danny Watts is behind the wheel of the Stracker HPD. They're as high as 6th now overall on what has been an amazing run for this British team. Based in Silverstone, and this was their big moment. They have been one of the standout teams in LMS competition in the LMP2 class. Nick Leventis was pretty hard on himself at Spa. He said, I made a mistake. I crashed early in the weekend and forced a fair bit of damage on the car. But everybody knew the Stracker car would be quick. And let's stay on the Aston Martin theme for a moment. Let's check in with Jamie and Darren Turner.
Darren Turner, obviously not a smile on your face right now. What was it that happened?
Well, yeah, I'm not too sure. I've got to speak to the engineers, but looks like we've got an engine drama. It's come from nowhere. We've had no warning that there was a problem with the engine, and it's just one of those things. We've done 23 hours, had a good pace throughout the night, and it was all looking good. I mean, we were all very relaxed behind here, and I was just getting ready to do the last pit stop and go out there and take the car across the line. It's just feel very bad for the team. You know, they've done a great job the whole weekend, and we had some good pace with the car.
Right, he's just said it all right there, but that is endurance racing. Disappointing into it for Aston Martin Racing.
We come back with the Just for Men race recap. It shows you our 4 respective class leaders. Now, there's an interesting story unfolding. As we went to the break, I said, let's wish the Robertsons well in their Ford GT. They could be in with a shot of a podium because the 83 JMB Ferrari said that Manuel Rodriguez holds down 3rd place at the moment. That car is stationary. It's in the pits and not much going on. Wouldn't that be an amazing result if the Robertsons could stand on the podium their very first visit? And with Dave Murray celebrating his return to La Sarthe for the first time in 10 years.
It's really covering both ends of the spectrum with the factory teams and then the Pro-Am drivers. It would be a great story. It means so much to them to visit here for the first time, to stand on that podium. I mean, it is quite a sight to see all those people that come down to pit lane, just the sea of the crowd standing up tall. It'll be very emotional, that's for sure.
Scott, you were part of a very special story here with Corvette Racing 10 years ago, and as we appropriately go to the Corvette, but for the Audi boys in car number 2, it's an amazing story as well. We've been describing them as the lesser spoken about of the 3 cars. The reason why is all of their teammates, their other 6 teammates, are all Le Mans winners. The number 1 car with a single win to each of their drivers. In the 3 car, Tom Christensen, Mr. Le Mans, with 8 wins, Dindo Capello with 3 wins, and Alan McNish with 2. It's no wonder they're the lesser spoken about. However, today they've come to the top with good strategy, good sensible driving, a little bit of good fortune on their side. So we'll see if they can hang on for another hour and 25.
I'll say they were playing it smart, but I was seeing some moves out there. I'd say we're a little less than what they should be doing right now. You need to get, keep an eye on what's going on, get into the checkered flag, but don't put yourself in harm's way. And as we saw him swerve over in front of the Genet, make him mad and just drop you into one turn. That's not what you need.
Yeah, I think they should have really given some directions over the radio from the team there. You can put it in the hands of the driver. He's getting antsy and he's getting impatient, but you got to be able to put it into the overall perspective of the race. What's going on? How much of a margin do you have? If you keep it here, we're good to go. Everyone's going to need 3 stops. Everyone's going to need a set of tires, potentially. Just read the road, read the dampness of the racetrack. Try not to make a mistake. Don't mix it up with anyone.
So on board with the Corvette, there was a little sprinkle coming on the pit straightaway once again.
They're showing us the split here between first and second in GT Pro, from Tommy Milner to Giancarlo Fisichella. Isn't that something that the 25-year-old American could never dream about? I'm leading a guy who's won 3 Formula One Grand Prix, done something like 220 plus Formula One Grand Prix starts. Simply amazing. He'll be pinching himself, and then the gap back to the 3rd place GT Pro car of Joey Han. So flying the flag for BMW. Hey, we're going to switch gears within the GT division. Let's talk GTM, and we've got an update about the situation with Robertson Racing and the 83 JMB Ferrari.
Interesting developments here. You guys were alluding to it for JMB. They have a serious clutch issue. They were in. It was a very long stop. They got him back out and running again. Just talked to the team, and they said, we don't know if it's going to last. They don't sound at all confident. And, of course, it means that number 68, Robertson Racing Ford GT, might be in with a shot at the podium. Again, what a wedding anniversary it would be. Great present for this team. Just talked to David Murray, and he's just trying to be very calm here. He told me earlier, he said his entire mission here was to make this a very special experience for the Robertson Racing team in their first visit to Le Mans. Boy, if this pans out, it will be huge. They're all trying to remain calm, but you can see it underneath. They're amped. Well, and that would have a special significance for Dave Murray, who's going through some tough times with his elderly parents at the moment. His mum just had open heart surgery, and unfortunately his father was just diagnosed with cancer. So that would be a special time for Dave Murray, and I'm sure he'd dedicate that podium if they get there to his folks.
68 cars about 2.5 laps behind the 83 car, and behind them they have a massive lead to the 81, which is out of this race. So if the 83 car quits and the Robertsons keep going for a few laps, they'll be guaranteed a podium finish. So that is amazing, amazing story. See that bodywork still loose. It's been like that for several hours.
Oh.
Wow.
You got to be careful when it's sprinkling like that, getting on that slippery paint.
And you could
that car can get away from you really fast.
What you were talking about too, Scott, you could see the shine off of the headlights on the asphalt, so you know it's starting to get a little damp in that corner. And that's where I saw on the Corvette windshield it was raining down there.
A little over, actually an hour and 22 minutes left. Getting into the checkered flag. Audi has it, I wouldn't say it in hand, but they certainly have pretty good position right now. It's going to be interesting to see how the pit stops play out and how much fuel each of these cars are going to need to get to the checkered flag.
Think about if you're Olivier Canel or Bruno Firmin at Peugeot. We've got 3 cars out there, 4 if you count the 10, and we're still chasing just one Audi. For those of you just waking up, either on the east or west coast, Welcome to Speed's continuous coverage, 25 hours in total of the 24 hours of Le Mans. And this one has been a race to remember for a variety of reasons. One of the Peugeots takes an off-track excursion. Which one was it? Was it the one doing the chasing? Was it car number 9? Or was it two of the Peugeots that aren't really in the race, the 7 or the 8? We'll find out. There is car number 9. The red mirrors tell us that.
I think it was 9, actually.
Simon Pagenaud has been doing a remarkable job. As his boss, there's Olivier Canel.
Believe that Simon will have to pit on this lap. This is his 12th lap on this run.
Yep.
This tells us what happened.
7 car.
Whoa. And you could see that Pagenaud got slightly distracted by that as well, with Marc Genet making that off-track excursion. Here's our race leader to the tune of 20 seconds, Andre Lotterer.
Still got some annoyance of rain. You can see it there on the windshield. Just continuing to spit down here.
Oh, had a hard time getting a turn.
You want to push hard, but you don't want to step over the line either. You put that thing in the fence and it's all bets are off.
Changing conditions are not making things easy to judge that.
We keep a watchful eye on the number 9 Peugeot. It is coming in to stop. Justin Bell has headed towards the Audi Hospitality Centre, where we understand he has tracked down Alan McNish, the first of those 2 very frightening crashes for Audi Sport. Let's go to Justin now.
Yeah, Lee, Alan, first of all, on behalf of your fans, your friends, it's very good to see you sitting here.
Thanks, Justin. It's, you know, what, nearly 23 hours ago or whatever, 22 hours, and sitting here without any big bruises, you know, a little bit of grazing on the shin from getting out the car and nothing else, and no one injured. It's a, very fortunate situation.
I mean, obviously you've had time to digest it, and I know there's always a blackout moment where you don't really track through the incident, but can you just walk us through what happened? It looked like suddenly you were forced into a situation, in my opinion. You took a risk, you judged risk. What happened?
Basically, Timo got caught. He just spoke to him now. I didn't realize the first part of it. He got caught a bit in traffic and then was on the dirty side and ran off the track. And I ran round the outside of him, and there was a Ferrari ahead. And I went to slide down the inside before the S's. And it was Anthony Beltoise. I didn't know that at the time. And Anthony, I read this morning in one of the French press, said that he just basically saw one Audi coming into the corner and one coming out, which was Timo, but he didn't realize I was alongside him and coming through. At which point his right front touched my left rear as he turned down into the first part of the S's, which then turned me left and into the wall.
And on a ranking of some spectacular career crashes, where does this one lie?
It was certainly quite a... It wasn't as big an impact as what it probably looked on television. I saw the TV footage, which gives a kind of funny angle of it all, to be honest with you. Certainly not from the view I was coming down the hill, but it was more just a long accident because it just didn't stop. It just kept on continuing. And then when the car was sitting on its side, you sort of look around and realize everything's okay. Radio to the mechanics and the engineers that you're okay and how bad is the car, but there was nothing coming back because the radio was obviously damaged with everything else. But the monocoque was perfect, absolutely perfect. It did its job stunningly well.
So right up there with your Suzuka Formula 1 crash, I'm sure.
Well, better. I came out of that with a few more injuries.
You did? Oh, that's very true. Now, have you seen Rocky's crash?
No, I haven't.
No. Well, when you do, you're both going to have to get a T-shirt saying my crash was bigger than yours, because they were both spectacular. You know, you're part of what Le Mans folklore now. What do you feel, obviously sitting here is just not the way you want to end the race, but you've got one car out the front and the pressure now, you know what he's going through, don't you? I mean, a lot of pressure on him.
We've been in that situation a couple of times where you're leading and it's really tight towards the end, and the good thing is that Andre's been pumping in the laps when he needs to and being careful when he needs to. And that crew has done a superb job all through the race, as far as I've seen. Really, really good. So, you know, in that side of it, I just hope they manage to pull it off, bring the big trophy home.
I'm sure. Well, listen, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. You know, we'll be back here. L'année prochaine, mate.
L'année prochaine.
Great stuff, Justin. And good to see Alan in